The storm came out of nowhere. One minute the highway was humming with late evening traffic, the next it was swallowed by rain so heavy it felt like the sky had cracked open. Lightning tore across the clouds, thunder shook the ground, and in that chaos, two lives that had never been meant to meet were about to collide. Stay with this story until the end, because what happened next didn't just change their night, it changed everything. And if stories about second chances, family, and unexpected love move you, remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss one that might touch your heart the same way. Ethan Cole was already exhausted before the storm hit. Being a single dad meant exhaustion had become a familiar companion, like the quiet hum of the fridge at night. He worked 2 jobs, days at a small auto repair shop, evenings driving deliveries, just to keep the lights on and food on the table for his 6-year-old daughter, Lily. That night, he was driving home early for once, Lily asleep in the back seat, her small hands clutching the worn stuffed rabbit he'd sewn back together more times than he could count. When the rain intensified, Ethan slowed, gripping the steering wheel as visibility dropped to almost nothing. Then he saw it, a sleek black SUV pulled over on the shoulder, hazard lights blinking weakly through the downpour. As he passed, a flash of lightning revealed a woman standing beside it, soaked, her hair plastered to her face as she wrestled with her phone. Ethan hesitated. He couldn't afford trouble. He couldn't afford delays. But he also couldn't ignore someone stranded in a storm like this. He pulled over. The woman looked up in surprise as Ethan stepped out, rain instantly soaking his jacket. "Are you okay?" he shouted over the thunder. "My car just died," she replied, voice steady despite the situation. "No signal. I was trying to flag someone down." Ethan glanced back at his old sedan, at Lily sleeping peacefully inside. "You can't stay out here," he said. "The storm's getting worse. I don't have much, but I can offer you shelter until it passes." She studied him for a moment, eyes sharp, assessing. Finally, she nodded. "Thank you. I'm Claire." "Ethan," he said. "Come on." They squeezed into his car, the warmth fogging the windows. Claire noticed the cracked dashboard, the taped-up radio, the faint smell of motor oil that clung to Ethan's clothes. She also noticed how gently he adjusted the mirror so he could keep an eye on Lily without waking her. They drove slowly, carefully, until Ethan turned onto a narrow road that led to a small, aging house at the edge of town. It wasn't much, peeling paint, a porch that sagged slightly, but it was home. Inside, he set Claire up with a towel and a dry hoodie, apologizing for the mismatched furniture and the clutter of toys. "It's perfect," Claire said softly, surprising him. "It feels real." As the storm raged outside, they sat at the small kitchen table. Ethan made tea, Claire offered to help but he waved her off. Conversation came easily at first, weather, work, Lily. But when Ethan mentioned being a single dad, something shifted in Claire's expression. "I'm a single mom too," she admitted. "My son, Noah, is 8. Ethan smiled. "Then you know how it is. Doing everything, all the time." Claire nodded, but there was a heaviness behind her eyes. What Ethan didn't know, what he couldn't have guessed from her calm demeanor, was that Claire Reynolds was the CEO of one of the fastest-growing tech companies in the region. She lived in a glass and steel house on a hill, managed hundreds of employees, and made decisions that moved millions of dollars. Yet none of that protected her from loneliness. None of it filled the silence when she came home to an empty house after Noah fell asleep. The storm knocked out the power just after midnight. The house fell into darkness, punctuated by the sound of rain and the distant rumble of thunder. Ethan lit a few candles, their soft glow filling the room with warmth. Lily stirred, then padded out in her pajamas, eyes half closed. "Daddy," she murmured. Ethan scooped her up. "Hey, bug. Just a storm." Lily noticed Claire and smiled shyly. "Hi." "Hi," Claire said gently. "You're very brave." That simple moment, watching Ethan hold his daughter, feeling the quiet strength of his love, hit Claire harder than she expected. In all her success, she had missed moments like this. Boardrooms and business dinners had replaced bedtime stories and candlelit kitchens. The storm passed by morning, leaving the world washed clean and quiet. Claire's car still wouldn't start, and cell service was spotty. Ethan offered to take a look. He wasn't a miracle worker, but he knew engines. As he worked, Claire watched from the porch, coffee in hand, feeling something unfamiliar settle in her chest, a sense of peace. When Ethan finally got the SUV running, Claire exhaled in relief. "I don't know how to thank you," she said. Ethan shrugged. "You'd have done the same." Before leaving, Claire hesitated. "Would you, maybe like to get coffee sometime? With the kids?" Ethan was surprised, but he nodded. "Yeah. I'd like that." What started as coffee turned into park visits, shared meals, and long conversations while their children played. Slowly, truths emerged. Claire eventually told Ethan who she really was, bracing for judgment. Instead, he laughed softly. "So you're a CEO," he said. "That explains the confidence." "You're not intimidated?" she asked. "No," he replied honestly. "I'm impressed. But more than that, I like who you are with your son." Challenges came, of course. Claire's demanding schedule clashed with Ethan's limited resources. Gossip spread when people saw the powerful executive with a grease-stained mechanic. Doubts crept in, could two people from such different worlds really build something together? The answer came not in grand gestures, but in quiet choices. Claire learned to leave work early for school plays. Ethan accepted help when he needed it, without shame. They showed their children that love wasn't about status, but about showing up. Months later, another storm rolled through the town, gentler this time. Ethan stood on the porch of a new home, still modest, but filled with laughter, watching rain fall as Claire joined him, Noah and Lily chasing each other in the yard. "Funny how a storm brought us together," Claire said. Ethan smiled. "Funny how it turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to us." And that's the real shock of this story, not that a single dad offered shelter to a stranger, or that she turned out to be a CEO, but that kindness, given freely in the worst of times, can build a family stronger than any storm. If this story moved you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Sometimes, the next story you hear might be the one that reminds you to open your door, even when the storm is loud.